My brothers and sisters, put your hands together to welcome our political leader, our opposition leader, and the inevitable next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, the Honorable, and I say it again, the Honorable Penelope Beckles-Robinson.
Please, take me home. Take me home. Take me to a place where my heart don't feel no pain. Everybody shouting up, right there. It's about me deep down inside there. And if you're looking for me, you're gonna find me. Right there.
Great is the NM.
Right there. It's about rhythm deep down inside there. Take me home, take me home, take me home. Wake me up before I fall asleep. Hey, yeah.
Great is the NM.
PNM posse.
Great is the NM.
Diego Martin West posse. Diego Martin Central posse. Diego Martin East posse. Northeast, all right. I just want to know if Mr. Imbert awake, that's all. You know, so that let me, of course, specially acknowledge Her Worship Alderman Akila Glasgow Warner, Deputy Mayor, councillors, and of course, in the interest of time, I'm not going to go through, you know, the long list, but I want to acknowledge my deputy political leaders, chairman, vice chairman, lady vice chairman, all members of the executive, councillors. Special good night to everyone. It's a, yeah, don't worry, you know, they're lasting no 5 years, you know.
Yeah! Great is the NM.
And let me say that is a special privilege to be here at this Diego Martin North Community Center. And it's important for me to acknowledge, I call him handsome, Hans for short, for handsome. You're handsome, intelligent, bright, energetic member of Parliament, the Honorable Hans Levine. But it's important as we have this meeting here in this Diego Martin North Community Center. I just want to take a few minutes to acknowledge the work of your former Member of Parliament, the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley. And to say that Hans is continuing, you know, the work done by your former MP. And I think you all are very fortunate to have someone like Hans who is dedicated, loyal. I had the opportunity to walk with him and to see his commitment to the people of Diego Martin West. Come on, give it up again for him. But just following very quickly on what Minister to be, because I mean, when we win again, I don't know, you know, call might change his mind. But I know that he coming back to serve in my cabinet.
Yeah!
But you know, it's important as he spoke about positives and the work of the People's National Movement. So I just want to say, it is important for me to say this. Diego Martin South Community Center, built by the Bagatelle Community Center, built by the Diego Martin Borough Complex, built by the Carnage Health Shelter, Old Carnage Police Station, Diego Martin Public Library, and I could go on and on. But you know what is interesting? That well, I know the list. If we had to put up all that was done, we ain't gonna finish tonight. But we just giving them a little snippet. But you see that interchange and hot in the eye? Built by the? Yeah. And it's important, following Amory, to remind them that the Treaty of Chaguaramas, 1973, the responsibility of Dr. Eric Eustace Williams. And it's very unfortunate when some people either didn't went to school, whether they were sleeping when the teacher was teaching, to not know that Dr. Eric Williams was the first Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah!
And I had, whilst I walked with Hans today, as well as Nyan, and several of other members of the Diego Martin constituencies. And, we got to right at the corner of Covine Road and recognize some residents cutting the high bush and cleaning up. And it is really not easy to see where this UNC government has taken us. I want you all to remember that when they got into office in 2015, months before the election, in some instances weeks before, they brought in new CPEP contractors. You all know that? And I wonder if you all know that the PNM honored those contractors. We ain't changed. We didn't change not one of them. We kept the employees. We kept the contractors. They come into office now in 2025, and they have short memories, and they get rid of not only the contractors that came in recently, but even those that were there before. I said to a lot of my constituents in Arima, anytime people telling you about a code, be careful. All you must know when all your grandparents and all your mother tell all you about talking in code. Secrecy, suspicion, something to hide. And all you fall for that. Yellow is the code. When UNC win, everybody win. All you now know when UNC win, everybody lost. So they want to tell you now, clean up in front of your yard. All of a sudden, you have responsibility to clean up in front of your yard. Because they want to shift the responsibility to look after Trinidad and Tobago from themselves, because they can't manage, to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know if you all got the news, but in all 12 regional corporations, they send home monthly pay workers today. All 12. In Arima, they went with 51 letters. Could you believe that in one day? I mean, what kind of shame? These people have any shame? You go and fire 51 people? And I want to say to those of you who are working in head office, watch out for tomorrow. Many of you who are here, whether you have children or you don't have children, you understand the pain, the suffering, the frustration of losing your jobs almost for no reason. Because they cannot give you a good reason as to why they send home every single contractor, every single worker. And I remind you, because you would have been sitting at home and you would have been watching the swearing-in of the Honorable Kamla Prasad Bisesa. Every word, I love you, I love you, I love my people. How you just love people and fire them? How do you love single mothers and send them home? Not only send them home, you send them home just a month or two before school reopen. Wicked. And some people are upset when we make that point, because you know that there were many of the CPEP workers who decided to give these people a chance. Because when they pass wrong, they promise you ham, lamb, and jam, and they buy it. And now, they send you home. People can't pay the rent. They can't pay the loan. You can't go in the market. You can't buy no groceries. I mean, what manner of man and woman would do that to the people of Trinidad and Tobago? That's the question I ask you. So, let us understand that this government is sitting down every day planning and plotting to send people of Trinidad and Tobago home. And I want to remind you that they told you they're going to create 50,000 jobs. But it's called mathematics. You send home 50,000 and then you employ 50,000. If they could do that. Because if in less than 100 days you're getting paid late, they send home people from WASA, they send home people from LSC, they send home people from reforestation, they send home people from URP, they send home people from CPEP, they close down the Civilian Conservation Corps. When last you all know of a young person who get a job in OJT? I ain't hear that. I ain't hear when we talking about trees and twigs. And as I walked in Covine today, I was reminded by one of the counselors, because we get concerned when they're not picking up the garbage. You see, when you walk, and this is the rainy season, all you see what happened downtown is bottles, everything floating. Every single Trinidadian and Tobagonian understands. Once we see flood and we see rain and so, CPEP coming. You sure the place going and get clean. But now they want to blame the regional corporations when it have flood. And guess what? Her worship will tell you here, they're applying for releases to pay the contractors for garbage, and they're not getting no releases. When we were in office every Monday morning, they apply to the Ministry of Finance, but they're giving money, but they come now and they only giving money to their corporations, and they are stifling and suffering the People's National Movement corporations. So they don't get tired. But they say long rope for maga goat. And we understand the leadership, the members of parliament who are here, who have taken their time to be here, understand the frustration, recognize some of the mistakes that we have made. And they don't like me to say it, but I will say it. As Mr. Imbert said, we made mistakes. And to the people, because a lot of you in Dago Martin West did not come out and vote for Hans. Some of you didn't come out and vote for Calm. Some of you didn't come out and vote for Simon. But all you regret it. When all you see what all you get for government and governance, what is passing for government and governance. And we want to say to those of you who stayed home, we want to say to those of you who are not happy with the People's National Movement performance over the last couple years, to those of you who felt disconnected, And those of you who felt that we were not listening, I'm here tonight to say to you, we are sorry. And I know some of y'all still hurting. And you ain't sure yet. But I hope you have enough evidence on a daily basis that it's time to come back home to the people's national movement. So I want to say to the CPEP workers, to the reforestation workers, and to many of you who are frustrated and you're not sure you're going to pay your rent, and you're not sure how your children will go to school, we want to say to you that we are very empathetic. We are very conscious of your situation. And I know that every single MP that is here, Simon, Hans, Colm, and who's here today, I see Kareem is here, I see Dominic is here, right? Sorry. Christian, where? Right, nice. Right? Nyan is here, and of course our senators who are here who are also helping as well with constituencies. Foster is here. That we have, in many instances, as Kareem said, he took 2 months of his salary to help his constituencies for Laventille West. And that has always been the policy of the People's National Movement. Empathy, sympathy, passion, and love for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And we may be in opposition now, but I want to remind you, on all 3 occasions that we went into opposition, we returned to government within 5 years. And the next time will be no different. Do not sit idly by and just say, the 5 years will come. You must remember, we were back in 1986. I just want to use that as an example. 33-3, when they thought that was the end of the People's National Movement. And in 5 years, we returned. Get ready, prepare yourselves. We understand that some of you, a lady said to me a couple weeks ago that since the election, she turned back on the television because she can't face it. And there are some of us who can't deal with the hurt as yet. But you need to listen to the news. You need to watch them. Because this is governance by WhatsApp. Every question is by WhatsApp. We in the People's National Movement are making ourselves available on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, to the media. I want to let you know that the leadership of the People's National Movement has been going all over Trinidad and Tobago, Moruga, Labre, Point Fortin, Camuto, Central, listening to the people, and they are influencing the decisions that we make. I want to talk about 2 more areas. And I want to continue where Amory started about the issue of police officers going to schools with guns. Now, I want to make it abundantly clear that similar to the issue with Venezuela, we understand that we have had an issue related to crime in Trinidad and Tobago. We understand that. And we recognize as a party that we have to put in place policies and principles to deal with those issues. Not one of us here at the leadership level or as a parliamentarian could say that we are happy when we see girls fighting and boys fighting and they're on the ground. We can't be happy with that. We want to fix that situation. Under the former Minister of Education, Dr. the Honorable Nyan Gadsby Dolly, 200 additional student support service officers were appointed to go to the schools, because we don't always know what is going on at home. I mean, think about it seriously. The predicament in which parents are finding themselves now. Just think about it. Your child is going to school. You have 4, you have 3. One get books, the other 2 ain't get. One get a bag, the other 2 ain't get. And they go to school. And then they come in home. They extend the vacation by a week. You have to find food for those children. And you have to deal with them when they come home. And some of them are going to school and acting out all the challenges that exist at home. So they need special help. And that is what the People's National Movement had put in place. Working together at the time with the then Commissioner Gary Griffith. The police were on call, so you have a problem. And they would come. But their position is, they're making you believe that they have all the answers. So they tell you, police with guns in school. And lo and behold, in Arima today, we find out that a teacher and a student got into a big fight. But guess what? You think it had police in the school? You think it had police in the school there? Look at the news day today. CPOS, where are our cops? You all remember that school? Last year, November, big shooting. They had to bring in counselors. And they are asking. And so the question we ask ourselves, what is the criteria they use to determine where they send police officers with guns? So they want you to believe that the People's National Movement does not want to address the issue of crime in schools and fighting. Absolutely false. We are saying, tell us what is your criteria. Share with us the schools that you have selected to have police officers. We are also asking you, are you specifically training those officers that are going to those schools to understand? We are also asking you, have you paid the invigilators from CXC their money? We are asking you, have you renewed the contracts of the student support officers? Because when you are dealing with issues related to crime and violence, it's a multifaceted approach. And that is what we did in the People's National Movement. So we continue to be very concerned about this matter, and we are asking this government that the children of Trinidad and Tobago, as Dr. Eric Williams says, the future is in their book bags. That has always been the policy and principle of the People's National Movement. The last thing that I'm going to discuss with you tonight, because you know, they are telling you that is a hefty amount of people. I mean, I'm not sure. I try to find out what is the definition of that word. Because, you know, you ask us, it is like whenever they give you information, they want to give you this vision about the power that they have. So you're moving it big. You're clearing out people, a whole set of people. You know, for me as a politician, if you have to make an announcement about sending home people, you're going to feel a little shame, you're going to feel a little coward, you're going to feel a how. Not them, Not them. They're proud. And they want to justify and telling you about corruption and ghosts and audit. Don't worry. They now come, but they know everything that's wrong. But wait. Let me tell you about the vision and leadership of the People's National Movement. Trinidad and Tobago, I don't know if you all know that there was a decision handed down today. $1.3 billion. All you hear about it? I want to tell all you about it. So you know that Faris Alwari, Senator Faris Alwari, had been dealing with this matter for the last 10 years. An appeal matter in the 3rd District Court of Appeal in Florida. And the court upheld the decision as it relates to the airport scandal, as it relates to Quaitong and Ferguson. So in other words, they lose the appeal, and Trinidad and Tobago has been awarded $1.3 billion in damages. And that was as a result of the People's National Movement ensuring that we don't panic. You stick with it. Because when you're dealing with cases with fraud and corruption, it could frustrate you. And you also remember that there was another recent success in relation to the matter involving Vincent Nelson. Stay tuned. Last week and this week, we are on a roll. We have to ask ourselves, who next? So, I want to say to the people online and to all of you listening that it is very important for us to be vigilant, for us to be focused, and not to get distracted. Do not be surprised that every week, in some form, they're going to be trying to come for one of us and to make all kind of allegations. So it could be Brian today, it could be Foster tomorrow, it could be Penny the next day, it could be Con, and they go in and they go in. But we waiting because we understand very well that in the People's National Movement, we have worked very hard. We have worked very hard to protect our integrity. We have worked very hard to develop policies and principles for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. There is absolutely no area, whether it be housing, whether it be healthcare, whether it be crime, national security, education, that the People's National Movement has not developed policies and principles to ensure a better standard of life for all the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So let me just close, because we have had a very good evening. I am proud of all our speakers today. And as I said, we walk the community before we come and speak. So we also have the opportunity to listen to some of the challenges, listen to some of the recommendations, and prepare ourselves for our return to government. And I have absolutely no doubt in my mind that the years of investment, because the People's National Movement celebrates 70 years as a party in 2026. We ain't come in town yesterday, and we haven't been changing, because there are many of you sitting right here. You don't know about the ULF, okay? You know about the DAC. You don't know about all these multiplicity of parties that have changed, Club 88, that have changed over time. We in the PNM, as Foster said, we remain PNM, all the way. So I just want to thank you for coming out. I want to thank you for your continued support of the party. I want to thank you for your commitment, for your support of all the various members of parliament who are here. I want to thank those of you who have not given up on the People's National Movement. And I just want to ask you to continue to have faith. I am the first female leader of the People's National Movement.
Yeah!
And as we prepare to take government, we are ensuring that our team gels. We know we lost the election, and we are not here to pretend that everything is perfect. Everything takes time. When you're rebuilding, it takes some time. All right? And therefore, there are those who will distract you and say all kinds of things. But don't worry about that. That is part of the cause. That is part of it when you're rebuilding. You have challenges, but that is all part of preparation. So as we prepare, as we join together, as we build our team, and as we get ready, great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And it shall be.